Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We got kind of just a day in the weekend life of me on this video. Gonna have some 6-liter content, getting some nitrous put in, getting it a little bit more organized. Maybe some of you guys will like that. We also have a little bit of shop owner life. We're gonna fix our gate and yeah, let's get to it. So here's our gate fix now. Went ahead, reinforced the legs a little bit, went from dual tandem axle wheels to, you know, super singles here with the Harbor Freight pneumatic tires. I welded a bar here to keep it from spreading. I also welded a support here to keep this from trying to pull out or really push in, so kind of a double whammy there. Hit her with a little of the self-etching Harbor Freight primer. We're gonna call that a repair. You know, one of these situations, it's the me mister. Minimum effort, maximum results. Now, the last thing on my honey-do list for today, so I speak, is we have to install some retractable extension cords. And if you guys didn't know, our lifts are actually obviously electric up, right? And then they go down just like normal, but the locks are air powered. Well, we've had some issues with leaks and stuff like that, and we've basically eliminated all of the plumbing to right here. So it goes over, and then if you guys look right there, it goes up and then feeds all of our different lifts. Now we've got most of the leaks, some of the airlocks leak, stuff like that. It's not something that we like to leave on all the time, which is fine. So we have this little ball valve here. This essentially keeps the system sealed. And we don't have a very big air compressor, I'll be honest. Air hammer and the lifts are really the only reason why we keep this air compressor around. But I'm really tired of trying to drape the hose over, you know, stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna keep the air compressor in this location. I want to make it where there's just its own hard line that gets routed through here around this I-beam and into this air compressor. So then all you do is you flip a ball valve on here, it instantly charges it up, and you don't have to worry about getting in, you know, I get tired of people putting their fingerprints and stuff on my table. So we're gonna go ahead and get this done. Okay, so we finished our shop do list. We got a bunch of electrical cords too, but this is really, so I was looking online and I realized that I'm missing a piece, but that still doesn't really help me down here. So my thought process is I'm gonna put this rubber mat here down in the bottom to stop vibration. And then I bought this like plastic, I bought this plastic tray. Now obviously it does not fit, even if you like, you might be able to shoehorn this in here. You get the drift. Basically what I thought was, what if I just cut it into like, well, I'll lay it out, but I'll probably cut like this part off and then this front part, and then bolt this in here. That way you get like a bunch of little compartments for like pens and fuses and like code readers, papers, all that stuff in here. I just thought that'd be kind of cool to do it like that. So that is what I'm gonna work on for right now. Once I get that done, I'll get this all cut out. I'll show you guys what it looks like. But little Dremel tool work should make very quick of this, and then get a lot more usable space in the center console. Pardon me guys, I get a little carried away in the shop on the weekends, but this is the finished product. You guys can see here, we got just all kinds of room now. I put that clear floor mat thing down, this extra lug studs and lug nuts. Obviously we got our black ice, got our nitrous jets, code reader, bunch of fuses and such, pens, markers, bunch of assorted cords, hashtag YouTube life, locking dipstick for the racetrack, some nose spray because I have issues. And now it's all in here, which is very nice. Now let me take you outside to what we're working on. So you guys remember me saying the nitrous was temporary. This is where it used to be mounted. This is our new stack up. So we have a 375, we have a 15300L. So this is a 0.375 orifice. These are the ones we use for like the UCC truck. These, like the quad cab has 3 of these and 2 of these. So just putting it in perspective. So we have one of these, we have one of these, and then we have this little one that came with like a bunch of random parts we bought from a random person. So my thought is this one will be the manual that we currently have, and then these 2 here will be controlled by our spare Max 5 we have sitting right there. Anyway, I got to make a bracket. Basically the bracket's going to kind of bend, and all the solenoids will kind of be faced this way. This one's kind of an outlier because the feed and in are different. And then to feed all this, again, we're not going crazy on the nitrous. We just have this NOS 4-way splitter. One's capped obviously to our -6 in. Our 6 hose is right there. And I'll get it laid out into a bracket. After talking to a bunch of people, I think most of it will probably still go in the intake pipe. I want to kind of try and play around with like that hot side intercooler pipe, but we'll see. Currently I just kind of got everything sort of laid out with all my random hoses I've gotten over the years, and we'll get the bracket built, and then we'll kind of dive back into it. I'm going to turn the music back on and get to wrenching. Just wanted to give you an update on that. Now we can kind of see the vibe I was going for. 3 in a row right here, kind of in an open corner. Not too much happens over here unless you take the cab off. So that was, again, what we were kind of going for. The nice part about this system is if we do have to take the cab off, other than unhooking the nitrous lines, everything should go up with the truck, because we put the bottle in the cab, the electronics are in the cab, this is mounted to the cab. And that was kind of the only thing. I laid it out a little differently than I normally do on like a Cummins, but a lot of people are probably going to wonder why the bottle is in the bed or the cab, and that was my thought process. So we have our 3 lines now, not pictured. I do have a 4AN female to 4AN male 90 swivel fitting, and that is going to allow us to run the line over. I think with it the way it is currently, it would probably actually hit the hood, excuse me. So that's kind of how she lays thus far. I'm really liking it, and we just won't be able to hook this line up, no big deal. And now we're gonna move on to probably the wiring part, which on the Max 5 isn't terrible. I'll lay it out again for you guys so you have an idea, but it's pretty simple. The only thing we're not going to be hooking up today is going to be our map sensor. The reason why we're not running the map sensor is our gauges aren't here. One thing I learned after many kits, instead of tapping the factory map sensor, I started tapping the aftermarket map sensors. And what that allows us to do is get a more than stock map reading. A lot of factory map sensors top out around 34 to 38 PSI. When we run, let's say, a 60 PSI gauge, a lot of people don't realize that's actually like a 0 to usually 100 PSI gauge on the electrical side. So we'll get an electronic sensor boost gauge in here, and we'll tap that. It also allows us to run all of the taps in the truck instead of under the hood, which I really like. So on this truck, we will run one on the throttle position sensor and on the map sensor. So very simple hookup, should work out great. Okay, so the Max 5 is very easy. These are all the unused inputs, outputs. Basically, the Max 5 comes with 2 controlled outputs that this will ground. You feed the solenoids with power from a relay, and then if you look here, the blue and red big wire are actually the grounds. That's how the Max 5 controls it. We have this blue wire here, that is our factory TPS input. This yellow wire is our boost input, and this wire here is our key on. So when you flip the key, or sorry, not key, when you flip the switch, what should happen is the relays should get the control side and the Max 5 should turn on. And then this thing pulse width modulates ground is basically how it works, or controls the ground side. But that's pretty easy. They also have like cam, crank, different outputs. If you wanted to control 4 solenoids with this one, you have to buy the additional drivers. That's what we have on the 07 quad cab. But this is it. I'm gonna try and find a pretty creative way to mount this. Once it's mounted, it's pretty simple. The relays really take the longest because the Fords have such a lot of room behind the dash. It should be pretty easy to tuck all this wiring in the truck. Here's the big reveal. It's just self-tapped. I tucked most of the harness, if you look under there, so I'm not gonna say it's like super clean, but I wanted to make it not so obvious. So this is where it's at. You can slide your USB cable in. This compartment really to me seemed kind of useless anyway, so yeah, now that we got more storage in here, we're able to use this tray here for the Max 5. Kind of, I'm not gonna say it gives it a sleeper look, but it's not as obvious. Obviously, with our VGT turbocharger, we're not going to be able to utilize all of this. That's not lost on me. It was one of those things, like if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it. So we have a nice service loop on our lines here. They all feed through here. We have our harness ran here, and then all the extra wire kind of tucked below the solenoids. So at first glance, you really can't see too much of it, which I kind of like. And then, yeah, that's kind of how I did it. Not sure, really not sure. That actually looks even better. Tuck that, sorry guys, I lost track of the camera, but that kind of tucks it all there. Getting to this fuse panel, definitely gonna be a challenge now. One of those hindsight, just 2020 situations, but we have a 93 solenoid or 99, 125 solenoid, and then our 375. So basically, obviously not every brand is Nitrous Express, but you know, kind of is what it is there. We're still waiting on this 90-degree fitting, and I haven't ran all the lines yet, obviously. I want to, this air filter is such a pain. So what we'll do tomorrow is take the intake pipe off, and I'm gonna cut basically from the MAF here, and I'm gonna take about, I'd say 4 inches out of this. It should make the air filter a lot easier to get on and off, but we'll have to save that for tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll do all the bungs and everything else. Tonight I really just wanted to finish up the stressful, or I guess more of like trying to think about wiring, just kind of brings out the worst in me. So we have that done. We're gonna call it a night. We'll pick it up tomorrow night after work, because it'll be Monday, and finish up our nitrous install with some fab work. Okay, so we are back on the 6-liter tonight. I took a night off, so sorry this video is spread out over so many days, but this is our intake. So for starters, to allow for more air filter room, we're gonna basically take about 2 inches out of this pipe, re-weld it. I'm gonna cut it like below the MAF here, and then cut it down here, take that 2-inch and weld it together, and then we will add our secondary bung. So we'll probably do 3 bungs in here, and then repaint it. And then on this side over here, on this intercooler pipe, I'm going to bead roll this bottom pipe and then put a couple bungs in there. So we got a little aluminum, little stainless. Let's get to work. And here is our mocked up piece. There's the chunk I cut out, more like 3 inches. But we got everything ground down, burned out, and then wiped down with acetone. Got a nice, honestly, a nice fit here, and we'll burn it in with the old TIG 9000 here. Okay, so bear with me, still sucking at aluminum, as you can see, but this piece had been powder coated before, which I think might be some of my reason. The other reason is I just suck. So we have our 2 1/8" MPT bungs on here. Now we're gonna go ahead and focus on the intercooler pipe. Let's go. So for those of you guys that have bared through 2 time lapses of my abortion of welding, we are here. So I tried the bead roller, didn't work, so I ended up just making like little beads on the end with the TIG, and I hope this stops us blowing boots. If not, we will call Power Driven and probably get a set of their boots. We got our 2 nitrous bungs over here, stainless to like whatever pipe, probably mild steel. So doesn't look pretty, but I'm gonna get these in the old paint booth now, and then we should be ready to go. This video will drag on one more day. I promise we're almost done. We got the wiring done, pipes modified. Now we just gotta stick these in the truck, but we're pretty much there. Got our assortment of lines to make it all fit, and got everything wired in over there, tested. We got, I mean, our 90-degree fitting showed up. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Okay, so I know this video is very choppy and we're airing up some tires for a road trip, but we got all of our lines ran this morning. You guys can now see that the filter just isn't jammed right there. It's got, you can actually get it on and off. That's why we shortened the pipe, clocked everything correctly, which was awesome. We got a 41 jet on this little guy. On the big one, or medium size one, we have a 88 jet. And then over here, we have a 136 just put in there for right now. And yeah, hopefully we're done blowing boots. Hopefully this nitrous works. We got the Max 5 all hooked up. And we'll do a video in the future on kind of how we set that up in this truck specifically. But for right now, that's about it, guys. I also went ahead and threw on our eBay exhaust tip. This is the Different Trends 4 to 5. Looks pretty clean. I wanted to shoot it up mostly for like racing and stuff, but it also makes the truck quieter, which I'm a big fan of. And yeah, if this isn't the epitome of unreliability, I don't know what is. A 6-liter going 8 hours each way with 2 broken Dodge 68s. So clearly the 68s gave up before the 6-liter, but you know, guys, hopefully you like this one. A little bit of fab, a little bit of nitrous, a little bit of odds and ends, a little bit of shop update, you know, and yeah, like this one. Drop your comment down below, subscribe if you are not already, and as always, I will catch y'all on the next one.